Welcome back to another episode of Getting Personal. I'm here today with Deejay, co-founder and backend dev at Lazy Superheroes. It's great to have you here today, Deejay. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for the invitation.
It's great. It's really great to have you. I actually know you myself as the Discord verification guy. You know, it goes around and people say, reach out to Deejay. He'll get you sorted.
He'll
How did that
fix it.
come about? How did that come about?
Same way my involvement with Lazy Superheroes came about. We needed a dev, and in a prior life, I'm an old guy, really pretty old, especially for NFTs. But I was a dev in a long past life that I barely remember. And I came out of dev retirement and cracked my knuckles and got going, figured out Discord and how it worked. And that's how we have a bot. I figured we didn't have collab land and we needed something. So I tried to dream up something that was, in my opinion, better functionally. It's not quite a self-service, but yeah, we can deal with that some other time for someone who's paid to do it rather than free. Love of the community and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely served the community. I know many Discords that have that Discord verification bot. So, yeah, we appreciate it for sure. Before we go into your personal story and talk a little bit about, Lazy Superheroes, being an OG HBAR community member that you are, I'd love to get your pulse on, the current state of the ecosystem, the community, like how far we've come since you joined Hedera. A bit of your perspective, as a dev, as a builder,
Sure.
anything that comes to mind.
Yeah, no, I'd love to. So I got involved with NFTs on there before we had the NFT standard, before Galaxy had bullied everyone into getting that done, which is good on them. So thanks for that. It's been a long journey. There's been many lessons learned, many things that I wish if I knew now I would tell my new self and fix them. But can't have that. Sometimes there's a lot of eggs broken on the way through. It's pretty messy, but we are making progress. I would say that we have a pretty good read of how busy it is because of the Discord bot. I have a pretty solid idea of how many people there are in the ecosystem that to actually get into Discord and verify themselves because they want roles and things like that. We've grown. We've absolutely grown. When I first put the bot out and we were at 600 people, like that's kind of sad, but it was only in a few Discords. It's orders of magnitude bigger, but we're still very small. Like it's a very polite community in general compared to the ETH communities I hang out in. I hope it doesn't change. It will, but that's life. We're missing a few steps still. Like I think that like high value NFTs, you need hardware wallets to be able to support them. I know like the Sistel guys, like kudos to them. Massive respect for everything they're doing. Can't wait for that. Also heard many times at Ledger of just about to integrate NFTs, but I heard that for a year. So I'm no longer that hopeful. But we've made a lot of steps forward with whether it's native staking, the fact that we don't need a liquid staking derivative because it's always in play. It's awesome. The fact that we have standardized metadata finally. I know that's kind of old hat now, but still, that's a big deal compared to the early days. I'm, over at Lazy Superheroes, we believe in the ethos of Web3, like decentralization. Like it's not that you shouldn't trust me because I think I'm pretty trustworthy, and those who know my real backstory probably would concur. But I just don't think you should have to trust me. Like that's how we do everything. Like we try and make sure that, and that's why we have this huge emphasis on smart contracts. So we want to release code that is out there now. Hedera's got there. We can verify the bytecode. This is my promise to all watching this. So any smart contract we release, the bytecode will be out there. It will be fully verified, open kimono. You can see exactly what it does. If you can't see what the smart contract does, don't interact with it. That's my advice. Simple. It's been a hard road though. The incident with HTS tokens at the boundaries with the EVM that Hedera had to change their security model. That set us back. We'd planned this whole thing out. Suddenly those things didn't work. We had to come back to drawing board, plan it again. The EVM equivalents that on an regular EVM chain, ETH chain, for example, reading from the contract, the state is free, has no cost. On Hedera, because it's sat on top of the Hedera consensus, it had a cost. And so that changes the architecture of how you build anything. That's kind of gone away now. The mirror nodes now will step in and allow us with a tweaked design pattern to get exactly what we need. And so, we are rapidly going in the right direction. We are really in a place where some of the people I talk to on ETH chains, they say, well, hang on a minute. Like, yeah, I get it. That's really expensive, gas heavy. Come do it over here. And the trend out there in crypto broader that everyone loves to talk to, very popular at the moment for the zeitgeist, is like the modular blockchain. Oh, here's my data availability layer, and use this for consensus, etc. Well, there's no need necessarily for a modular blockchain. You can just make the DApp modular, and so we can use Hedera's consensus over here, or we can run this piece over there, and get our data out over there. I mean, that's fine. Like, why not? I love that the world is changing. So, sorry, I did a more broader blockchain view of the world, but like NFTs are the same. Like, they're a sleeping giant. I'm confident that as everyone is excited again, they will come back. I think they have a real meaningful place. I love the community aspect. I love that Hedera communities have stuck around and has generally been pretty polite. But they're somewhat small, and I'm not sure the polite way to say it. I think capital is somewhat tapped out. Like you see some OG projects that come back and try and mint things, and they just get stuck and don't really go anywhere. And that's okay. It's been a long bear market. Those who are still around, those who are still building, my hat's off to you all. It's been a hard road, but we are going in the right way and ready to welcome newcomers as they come. Right. I feel like Hedera really has their head switched on now as to what needs doing to close the gap, to bring more people in. We got 2 oracles in the last week. I mean, how amazing is that? We can finally do DeFi that's not just swapping token A for token B. Like, we can start doing borrow lend and build primitives and stack stuff up. Like this is how it goes to become nuts. The world hasn't seen how exciting this can become. And perception of Hedera is often mixed because it's somewhat an island. But once these things start to become live, I think that will really change dramatically. And at that point, NFTs will matter. And again, everything that we've tried to do from Lazy Superheroes, we've not always been quick. And part of that, I have to apologize to any of our loyal fans or not so loyal fans. All are welcome, right? To come back into the fold. There's been a lot of dreams, a lot of things that we want to do, but we want to do them right. Like let me give you the example. We want to provide, as we've always promised, the lazy farms for staking. So you'll stake your NFT and you'll earn lazy tokens for it at different rates. Now, we can mimic that up really straightforwardly if we just say, send the NFT to our wallet, set an approval to our wallet, or, hey, we'll do it without actually staking them, which somewhat defeats the point because you want to try and keep things steady for all and help control supply and reward people for controlling supply. There are different variants. Obviously, the stateless staking airdrops sent out. I can write a script for that. It's not a big deal, but it doesn't really achieve what the setup with the community was. Setting approvals, well, who are you sending the approval to? Like, if I've got an approval, I can take it from you. Now, again, I think I'm trustworthy, but you shouldn't have to trust me. Like, that's it. Send them to my wallet, crikey, escrow. That's even wilder. Right? So we've always intended to do this, what we consider properly, which is with a decentralized smart contract, deploy code, you can see what it is. You're the only one who can put it in. You're the only one who can get it out. The tokenomics for how how this system will work. We have a halving every time 50 million lazy get into circulation. Like, that's enforced in the contract. That's not waiting for the team to sit there and halvings happen, quick, tap, 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 tap. Like, you put your tokens in, the rates are set. You're accruing at that. Like, I can't touch it. Like, I just have to watch it. Like, that's it. Brilliant. Good for you. You're rewarded for keeping in the farm. Brilliant. Like, but you should know That's how it works up front, and no one should be able to touch that. Like, we, the team, intend to be around because we've been here since the beginning. We're not going anywhere. We haven't minted anything for a long time. It's become self-funded, as of so many things. We're revamping the art, trying to make things better. We've got some fun plans for correcting some of the ills of the earlier Hedera ecosystem, where everything was on one individual tokens per serial, and we want to collapse everything back to single tokens. Makes a lot of stuff a lot easier. We again, even for that, we stand up a smart contract for that, so that when you're swapping, singular atomic transaction, you give the smart contract your NFT, it gives you back the new NFT and gives you some lazy for saying thanks for doing it. But it's a single, you know the whole transaction happened. You don't have to worry that maybe a middleman scammer has changed himself to be called Deejay and pinged you. We see that in Discord. The fact that people do trades bilaterally scares the bejeebs out. That's crazy. What in this day and age? But using the same technology that we're using, or same patterns that we're using for staking, one of the things that will come out shortly after is an escrow concept. So at the moment we have secure trade, and that's great, but secure trade, or scheduled transaction as it really is under the covers, is a 30-minute device. If we're not online within a 30-minute window, we've got a problem. Well, how about if I told you I've got a secure escrow where I can go and put my item in there that I want to give to you, or for money, right? I mean, we can do it for fungible token or for HBAR, but let's just say for now I'm going to give it to you because I'm a very nice person. I try to be. So I go and put it in there, and I get back a code, and I say, "Hey, Jack, here's the code. Anytime you like, you go there, you put the code in, and it will give you back the item for free." Now all of a sudden we've broken the temporal link. But we've done it in a secure way that I'm the only one who can get it out other than you with the code. Obviously, you need to treat that code like a private key. Careful with it, right? But that's an improvement. These are the things that that's how our mind works. We're always just trying to find ways to do things. We think it's the hard way. We think it's the right way. It doesn't mean that everyone has to do it. I'm often found saying Web3 is choices. Make good choices. So if you wish to bilaterally trade stuff with people and not pay royalties, so be it. But you're taking different risks. We want to provide tooling and help and everything I've ever done. Like Adrian on your side, he and I have talked a lot of times over the years now. It must be years now, but over time we've talked a lot about how APIs work, how this fits together with that, shared scripts and content. And we've always tried to share Lazy Superhero stuff back with the community. If people want an opinion on some codes out there or risks of this or that project, or indeed some community projects like Zero and X0, that project there, or Cantor. We love working with other builders. Cantor codes at Tierbot. The Faucet, helping him launch the Tier token. That Tier token has come from a smart contract treasury. So several things that gives you. One, security, because you can control the ins and outs rather than having a hot wallet key that's passed around between people. You can then, any ins and outs, any authorized transactions, you can lock down with a multi-sig. That's what we do with ours. Again, we believe in multi-sigs and teams and having 2 of 3 or 3 of 5 sigs to make sure it's safer. But you can expose things like making the token burnable. So now we can have a burnable token, but without having to have a supply key that the team keeps. You've got to trust the team doesn't lose it. And I'm not going to name names, but I have helped people try and recover situations where they have lost keys inadvertently, right? And that's I don't want the key. Like, the smart contract's the key. Stop. Then no one has to trust me. But it then allows us to get into the world, which is where EVMs are so powerful, of making composable contracts. So we have a smart contract treasury, which sets its allowance over to our lazy gas station, and the lazy gas station can pull when it needs to, and it can fuel all of our other contracts. So if you're entering into one of the farms where you put up collateral, you enter in for a period of time, and then you get a reward. You set your approval to the gas station. You're sending all the lazy to a singular point. We're trying to centralize and smooth all this out. But same ethos. You go into that farm, you want to know what collateral you might win. Like, what are the tokens that you're going to get? And you can see the code when it's live. Once you're in there, someone's in there, I can't get the collateral out. So no one can mess with it. No one's going to just like bait and switch you. Like, oh, I thought I'm going to get this really rare NFT. Oh, no, they've taken it out and put a different one in. No, like, you should know when you go in. And then another step, which I'm hopeful that will be well received by the builders. Actually, I haven't spoken to Adrian or anyone on your side, but like, we haven't released it yet, so it doesn't really matter. But anyone who's familiar with the ETH project delegate.cash, so the ability to delegate your wallet to another. So one of the things that scares me, personally, like, you know, I'm also an ETH guy, so therefore I get scared easily about these things, is that you're going to mint with your high value items in your wallet. And, you know, have you checked this contract? Do you know what it does? Like, it says mint, but like, that's the method call. Who knows what it's actually doing underlying, like, if the code hasn't been exposed. So you should always mint from a spare hot wallet. Well, whitelists, you know, token-based whitelists, wallet-based whitelists, etc. Right now on Hedera, you have to use the wallet that has the item in it, or that specified wallet. We needed this type of tool for the farming and the staking, because when someone has relinquished control to a farm of their item, I still want to know who it was who put it in there. So what we now have, as well as the gas station, we have a lazy delegate registry. So as you go into the staking, it calls out and it says to the registry, hi, I've got this token, but really it belongs to this guy or girl. And then other contracts can, with 3 lines of code in a smart contract, check whether the requested minter, for example, or the voter in the DAO vote is actually has the delegated authority of someone else. So, you know, it's a free tool to the community. There's no that's not locked. There's no payment for it. Like, the smart contract just stands up. It's just a registry. If you wanted to use it on your side to allow people to do that, like, oh, the snapshot's been taken, but if you don't want to mint from that particular wallet, you want to mint from a clean, fresh one, then, you know, run this command, off it goes, and it's delegated authority. And then anyone can use that. Like, it's little things like that.
Yeah.
I hope, I probably talked too long about them, but I hope, like, it can be seen we're thoughtful in the architecture, and sometimes it's the hard yards, because that delegate registry, I thought it would be trivial. And the amount of tests that I've run through this and things that I found that I break, and like, oh boy, it's horrible. But I'm really excited to get some of these pieces out. We're in testnet now with a lot of this stuff. And so,
amazing.
Yeah, it'll be soon, very, very soon.
That's exciting. What is Lazy Superheroes? Like, for those maybe hearing about it for the first time ever, like, how did it start?
Okay.
What's the vision? Give us a little overview of Lazy Superheroes.
Yeah, as Jack rightly pointed out, I'm the back end, not the front guy, right? But I'll do my
From your perspective. From your perspective.
Yeah, my perspective. No, Lazy Superheroes is ultimately a club, right? That we want people to be community and want to be part of. Right? There are lots of aspects of that, but there's a very strong storytelling narrative. Like, the original Gen 1 characters, like, they all have backstories. It's a huge art archive. You know, for those people who like that, we have a comic book. It's printed and published. You can buy it in Amazon if you look in the right way. I have a copy, not here, but at home on my in my library. You know, associated with that, we've got some great art out there. Like, there's an amount of exclusivity. There are 100 Gen 1. Which is a pretty small number. It was a very early stage of as well. But there's a small number. There's 5,000 Gen 2, although actually the mint was relatively small because we realized the bear market was coming and we didn't want to try and squeeze liquidity out of everyone just for the fun of it. Like, we didn't need to. So we're still committed to the project there. So, yeah, we have the first comic out. There'll be more comics. We have a number of story-based pieces. And, the art itself, we think, is very strong. Ordinary guy, shout out to him. Like, he's an awesome artist. And we've used many different artists through time. But yeah, the upgrade he's doing to our Gen 2 art is just truly phenomenal. I wish we'd had that in the first place, but doing hand-drawn art from a proper artist takes real time, effort, and money, obviously.
Yeah.
But we're doing that. So we have given away hundreds of NFTs of value, normally at the higher end of value, exclusive access to people, to whitelist and the like, from being part of the community there. We have a utility token, the lazy token. The aim is always to make that available and useful. So we've made lazy available for various tooling, for minters, for like the staking and the farming. There's usages there, for various competitions, for raffles, for lottos, like all of those things. Some of it in the old-fashioned way, because we didn't have all of the suite of contracts ready. But the aim is to do it all up front, with a transparent overview of it. And so, like any good good community, we want a healthy one inside of it. And the umbrella of Lazy Superheroes embeds a number of different franchises, if you will, like the Hash Horses. So Hash Horses was a huge collection, very, very cheap, effectively a lotto. The idea was, if it minted out, or when it minted out, at stages, there was a large H-bar prize for someone who happened to own a horse, which has long been given out. But we have a plan for where this fits into the stories as well. It's always nice to have narrative behind all of this. Those horses are now currently burnable. Again, smart contract. Go to a smart contract. So you go to a fancy D-app, right? You pick your horses. It shows you whether they're rare ones or not rare ones, and you say, I'm going to burn these 5. And you hit the button, out they go from your wallet. They go off somewhere else, actually, to the treasury wallet. They get burnt from scripts that are watching what everything's going on, and you get delivered lazy. And you can go and use that lazy for other things, whether that's claiming on some other platform, whether it's bidding for some of the sort of once only creative prizes. Like some people have really desperately loved to design a Hashgraph cards card. Like they really like the idea of their own piece there, either not their drawing necessarily, but their design work. Those have been prizes, or alternative endings for the comic book. So the comic book has 3 different alternative endings, 2 of which were written in conjunction with the community as on the back of prizes. There's lots of ways to make that token useful for all people, not just the mimetic being lazy, own lazy. I mean, do so. I think it's great. Like in this world where tokens don't need to do anything, that's awesome. But our token also does stuff, and so we think that's awesome too. Like you can have it either way, whichever you like. And the Hash Horses, we have a little racer bot that I think we get like 40, 50 people most weekends come to watch and. So what's that battle bot that people use, battle royale thing?
The Rumble.
Rumble, right? So it's basically like a Rumble bot, except it's with your horses. Because obviously I like to hack around with Discord bots. I can check your wallet because you're registered with the HTS bot, and I can know which horses you own, and so I can make sure that one of your horses that you own is shown if you're the winner. So if you're winning in a round, it shows one of your horses. Right, and so there's all sorts of bits we can layer onto that, like maybe a consumable pass where you can get a little extra bonus to your luck, or you can name your horse, or these are all little bits around the edges. But yes, the story arcs, and there are multiple arcs. So we've had that first one. We have Gen 2, which are the lesser heroes, there's more of them, but also the lazy supervillains, who are the nemesis of the superheroes. And then there's the sort of trading, collecting arc. So the staking to earn lazy tokens, it's not just, well, I'll take this piece and I'll stake it and that'll be great. That's fine for Gen 1 because there's only 100 of them. They're all flat and even. But if you look at Gen 2, there are different traits and abilities. So if you combine them in the right way, like, I need this certain sword with this certain headgear, and if I combine all those, I'll get a 5% bonus to my staking. And so, even a piece which may not be rare, it may have a trait that is useful to other people. So we want to try and gamify things a little bit around the edges so that people don't just want to buy. As well as that, you get access to all of the dev stuff I ever do. I dump it in the channels. I've helped tens. I wouldn't say hundreds of projects, but I've definitely helped tens. We're not quite at 100. I do everything from airdrop tokens to mint stuff. I know you guys now have got some great tooling, so I probably don't have to do this as much anymore. But yeah, I've definitely done this in the past a whole lot. Yeah, there we have an alpha channel where I share all sorts of content from my other life, various research, everything from crypto stuff to macro stuff. So it's less. You'll never get from me for reasons that I promise are wholesome and good. You won't get you should buy this token at this price now. That's not the sort of alpha, but in more broader context for a little bit of sanity and opinion about everything from geopolitics to the state of crypto L2s. Happy to be of value, and yeah, that's what I see. Lazy Superheroes is a place where people, it's spoken hub, right? It's that middle it's the middle of the community, the beating heart. And some of the OGs that we have in there, they may be on the quieter side. They may not pound their chest and tell everyone that they're the OGs of the space, but yeah, I know what they hold and how much capital they've put into this space. They are some of the beating heart of Hedera, whether people know it or not, and it's just a nice, respectful bunch who like getting on, and we'd welcome anyone. Anyone who's interested, any of those facets that are interesting, brilliant. If people have other ideas of what they wish we would do for them, then we're all ears. But we anticipate as the world reopens again and people are trading NFTs again, people will wake up and oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, hey guys, how you doing? But the hardcore is still strong and still there, and it's been awesome to see.
Love it. Yeah, that was a great overview. No, it really was. It was super interesting. And I wanna pick your brains on something you said
Sure.
before. You were saying how, in the last 2 years we've come a long way in Hedera, but when you first joined and started Lazy Superheroes, there were so many missing steps, so many, a lack of many different things. What brought you to Hedera, and why did you stay if it was lacking so much?
Sure. So what brought me to Hedera was a very long time ago, around the release, or maybe even just before the release of the white paper. Seeing some interviews with Dr. Lynn, who I think was incredibly thoughtful. I'm a computer science guy. It's original sort of training. I've diverged in that path for a long time, but I still enjoy that side. That's the dev side of me, and I like that. And I've followed a lot of blockchains, and they haven't necessarily done what I think they should do personally. And that doesn't mean that they aren't fun and numbers go up and all those things. I'm breaking apart my sort of holistic view of what I'd like them to do and what most people are here for, which is top 3 use cases of crypto right now are casino, and casino. But the world will change in my view over time, long enough time horizons and all that. But I think what Hedera has at its core is pretty special and pretty thoughtful. Now, I will admit that I very much underestimated how quickly some of those other pieces would be ready. The 1.0 version really wasn't as ready as I thought it was. That's the nature of the beast. You make a marketing announcement because that's what you're aiming for, and you may not have finished backing everything up the way you wanted to do. And so, I've mentioned it, but I think I mentioned it. The security model changed. They announced the EVM. We're fully EVM compatible. You can do everything you like, and you can use HTS tokens, and it's fine. And then, there was an attack vector. I'm not saying that I've spoken to a number of the core engineers. I'm not saying that they're great people. They're absolutely great people, but I also understand the pressure on them to do you've done that thing and off to the next thing. We need a new buzz out there. So when that happens, you build up technical debt. Again, I know this because I've had to unwind a whole load of technical debt that I built in our tooling and make it afresh. And doing that while the road, hurtling along the road at 90 miles an hour, changing the wheels and the engine, it's tough work. So, hats off to the ETH devs who managed to pull off the proof of work, proof of stake upgrade. I mean, that's a phenomenal task. Hats off to the Hedera guys for everything that they do. However, I still see that the long-term goal. I think that the one thing that is so often missed, the beauty of the Hedera network from a corporate institutional type perspective, is that the transactions are priced in fiat but paid in APR. So how much it's going to cost. Like the core thesis of every other chain, I may have one that's not, but almost every other chain is that I'll make money because everyone's going to come buy my tokens because they need it in order to spend gas or fuel the transaction. But at the same time, if that happens and I'm an institution and I was relying on the cost being 1K a day and token price goes up 10x, maybe it's not economically viable to use it for that anymore. So now we have to go into scaling and now we have to go and do all these other parts. For me, if Hedera can live that dream, and but they're doing a great job, but it is hard. Right? If they can live that dream, that's an absolute killer feature. And I just don't think people realize how powerful that is for institutions. For us, Web3 DJs like hacking around with NFTs, what's it necessarily matter? So yes, a combination of naivety, hope, dreaming, the whole market going up. I could have enough capital to be useful and impactful to the Hedera space, but at that same point, like I would have got one blue chip art NFT and ETH, and I've just sat there and said, "Oh, that was fun." So I'm far more interested in being involved in the early stages, even if it's just from an educational perspective. And so that's how it happened. And again, Lazy Superheroes had the same journey. Like we had these dreams, we had these big visions, and all the things that we're trying to deliver. Maybe I can give you some links to our white paper and our Git books and everything after. But we have these detail. Everything is laid out and super thoughtful, way more in depth than anyone realizes, and people aren't as interested in details. So it is what it is. But we had these dreams. People love the dreams. We weren't able to deliver them quick enough. Some from the network. More recently, last few months, personal things get in the way, and redeveloping takes time. And this brain needs to warm up to get it like really going into the right direction. But I feel we're there. We're on the cusp now, as I say, in testnet with some of our new tooling, and the hard work is done. The technical debt is solved. Once you streamline these things, adding the new pieces becomes really quite trivial. You have to do the hard work first. So that's what it's been. We'll be looking for some testers to beat it up even more than my hundreds of unit tests and integration tests that I run. And then, fingers crossed, we'll unleash that. People will come back. We'll upgrade the art. That will be beautiful, just because it's beautiful art. If you haven't seen it, please check out what Ordinary Guy's doing. And under our Twitter handle, we share it a lot. There, we're going to try and do a swap out in place. So we'll keep the token ID, but we'll burn and mint and replace for you live, fingers crossed, or something close to that. And then I'll have a choice. If you like the old art, you keep it, but I don't want you to. Like, get the new art. It's just so much better. And then chapter 2 of the story will begin. Literally, of the comic book and the story, there is a comic book. Go read it. It's fun. Definitely a lot of time and effort was put into that, and hopefully then market will be back. We'll have more people, and there'll be a load more people in Discord, and we'll have these tools. And these tools also, if you like the tools, we will help the rest of the community. Like if someone would like to do staking what we consider the right way with smart contracts, or they want to launch a token with more security with a smart contract treasury and force it to a pool and to deliver it out in drips based off what people own, we can do all those things. We've shown them, like we've done it for people. And we just want to make the place better. Right? We think we've been here early, and people have stood on our shoulders to get to keep going, and we want to keep that the same way. Right? We just want to drive the space forward. A bigger pie will be better for all of us. We have zero interest in sharp elbows and trying to snatch. Yeah, I can get this extra bit of liquidity. No. We're playing for the medium long term, like not the short term. That's it.
I love it. I love the ethos, and I think it's going to be an exciting 2024 for
For sure.
not just for the lazy superheroes community, but for the Hedera ecosystem and the new tools that you're bringing as well, and the way you just open source them. I think it's just we need more DJs, we need more superheroes like yourselves, right?
Very kind. We try and do what we can.
Yeah. It's been amazing. I really appreciate you for taking the time to do this interview, and I'm sure the community will appreciate all the detail that you went into.
Yeah. All right. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.